place where there isn't any trouble. Do you suppose there is such a place, Toto? There must be. It's not a place you can get to by a boat or a train. It's far, far away. Behind the moon, beyond the rain. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. You dare to dream really do.
There is something I kind of want to talk about that's been going through my head. And that is that the world is both extremely dangerous, unstable, kind of messed up, but it's also very mundane and boring, and it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of possibilities out there. And I think that's kind of like a strange aspect of this age we live on. It's there's something not quite right about it. I was thinking about this because I was thinking about back in the day, I used to listen to a lot of tradcasts talk about prophecies and the end of the world and or the end of more like the end of our world, you know. And they very much this is back in the late 2010s and into 2020. Like there was this kind of hysteria, and there was a sort of sense that everything was collapsing, or there like people were saying there would be a civil war immediately, or I mean, there's always people being hysterical, but this was something else. It was like people were talking about everything as if like we are witnessing prophecy and it's just around the corner, and especially the tradcasts, they have a very hysterical kind of neurotic bent to them. And what I mean, they use prophecies. They didn't necessarily explicitly say this is in regard to our times, but they basically did, and they basically hinted that, for example, there was going to be two popes, and that one was a false pope, and that the real pope, when he left Rome, would cause some kind of cataclysm. God would do something, but it's like, and obviously that the hint is that it applies. Oh, when we have two popes, well, we had Benedict and Francis, and it doesn't really make any sense when you look at it back, because it's like, okay, so you bet everything on like Benedict is the true pope, and then Francis is this anti-pope, and then Benedict leaves Rome, and all the first secret of Fatima happens, and he gets killed, or there's some kind of devastation or something. And then none of that happens. Not only does Benedict die, but Francis dies, and we just get a new liberal pope. So what was the point of all that? It's not like you were unreliable. You may have said oh, that was not what I meant. I didn't mean that the two popes was happening now. But that's basically what they were hinting towards, and they were very hysterical. And they were talking about the 3 days of darkness, which is not even backed up by actual research. You know, it's just something that people accredit to saints who never apparently said those things. At least most of them. And it's very strange, this hysteria. And now I see this kind of like orthodox version of it, where they take examples from what certain other elders or saints or priests have said, and they think it's like just around any corner now there'll be some kind of global cataclysm. And I mean, maybe that will happen. It's not like I can know. I'm not saying it won't happen, but it's very, I don't know, it's like a negative vibe to, like, how are you supposed to plan for anything? How are you supposed to, I mean, you can't really. Anyway, you can't plan for everything, but I mean, how are you supposed to plan for anything or like think in a sane, reasoned, and measured manner if you literally think the world is gonna end tomorrow? Like, you're gonna act crazy. You're not gonna act like in a sensible way. You're gonna do things which are, I mean, maybe you'll do things that are a spiritual benefit, like go to church and confession and things. But maybe also you'll not focus on the world, the real world, and like doing what you can within it that's good. Because you just think that there's gonna be this massive change all of a sudden and events are gonna spiral out of control and it's gonna lead to some kind of like Christian utopia or whatever. Or what a utopia would be for a Christian. It's very. I think it's like a negative. It's a negative vibe, man. It's like it's an obsession, and it's kind of it's neurotic. It's not like stabilizing, and it's like it kind of distracts from the main. I think it distracts from the main mission of Christianity. I don't think the main mission of Christianity. I mean, we do wait for the end times, but we just don't sit around waiting for the end times or speculating when it will be. Or I mean, that's kind of like messed up and neurotic. I've repeated myself many times, but it is like there's a spirit to it which is very strange and not healthy. So I stopped watching that stuff. I would advise everyone else to stop watching it. It's like if the Tradcasts were wrong about like the second pope or the two popes or whatever, then the Orthodox can very much be wrong about the end of the world being imminent because Iran has been struck by Trump or whatever. I think it's very like it's a very similar vibe to when the when the Tradcasts were all wrong about what they said. It's the same essence to the spirit. It's a spirit of hysteria and paranoia and obsession with detail, and missing maybe the big picture to some degree. Not that it's not interesting. I'm not saying you have no right to talk about these things. I'm just saying I don't think it's healthy. So yeah.